Sam, I have a quick question about just like I go to a smaller school, so if I find a bank that I think is really interesting and I want to potentially apply for I guess a full-time offer, but I don't really know anybody that went to Trinity or maybe went to my high school that is currently at the bank. Do you recommend sort of sending a cold email or is it really not worth my time to like try to build that connection in the next like 6 or 7, maybe even less than that weeks that I have left? Should I really just try to target the touch points that are the most like likely to actually formulate relationships? And then also on top of that, if I really like a bank and I want to apply, but sort of the conversations have reached a dead end, what do you recommend? So both of those are like my big questions right now.
Okay, so let's do one at a time. So the first question is, if you have a bank that's so you're recruiting for full time, and if you
Yeah,
find a bank that's interesting, but you don't have any warm contacts there,
correct.
we're going after them still through cold contacts. Um, Look, it's hard to say whether it's worth it or not. Like that's kind of depends on you, right?
Yeah,
Like you're gonna take a little bit more time. Like, how why is this bank interesting to you and how important is it to you to like at least have a crack at them? That's part of it. And then like, how much time is really gonna take you to just send out some cold emails? Again, if it's a cold email, in my mind, like there's not really that much customization required, right?
yeah,
So to me, sending cold emails is like a very quick thing. Like aside
yeah,
from having to find their contact information, right? The rest of it can be automated, right?
yeah,
And
totally.
even finding their contact information, like I mean, it's up to you, but like, dude, I've literally had a client outsource that, and they had a VA do it, and it's pretty cheap. And like, not saying everyone can afford to do that or even wants to do that, but at the end of the day, you have a limited amount of time. That's the problem, right? Because if you have all the time in the world, it would be a no-brainer. You would probably try, right? What you're
Yeah,
asking is, if I don't have enough time, should I try for it? Well, you can buy time, right? You can trade money for time. You can find someone in online who will do it for you or do the grunt work for you. And of course, you still have to make sure that you still have to check their work and make sure it's right, and um, kind of like manage the process. But my
yeah,
point is, it doesn't have to take that much time. So whether it's worth it or not, like personally, if it was me, I would probably still do it. And you may or may not get a response because again, these are totally cold contacts. You're like the response rate will definitely be lower
yeah,
warm contacts, but if you're not having to invest that much into it, then it doesn't matter, right?
yeah. I think with also just like personally with limited time, like I'm actually genuinely interested in this bank, so I want to reach out to somebody. It's just that it's a smaller tech focused firm out in San Francisco, and being from the East Coast, I don't really know anybody that's out there. Slash, don't know anybody that went to Trinity that is over there. So it definitely stems and roots from interest to start out with. Otherwise, like I shouldn't even be reaching out to them in the first
But look,
place.
like if it's a smaller bank in
Yeah,
the flip side of that is like they probably have less people reaching out to them.
yeah,
So it might also like that somewhat offsets the fact that it might be more difficult because you don't know anyone there, but also there's less people reaching out. So every person that reaches out, it's that much easier for them to get noticed, right?
yeah,
Um, but also like if you genuinely are interested in this bank for whatever reason, um, you might want to mention that, right? Like you might want to like, especially if it's a really solid reason, like you might want to explain why you're so interested in them specifically. Because
yeah,
especially with a lot of these smaller firms, um, they're gonna want to know that kind of stuff. Like, why are you coming to us? Like, why not just go to all these other banks that are much more well known than we are, right?
yeah,
Like for the small banks, especially like they like to feel special. If you can demonstrate like, hey, Reason why I'm specifically targeting you is because of XYZ reasons that's unique to your firm, then like you might actually have some success regardless of like what school you went to, you know?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think all banks, like, it's not like a Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley or whatever, where every single person from their school is reaching out to them and trying to talk to them, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So they're probably not just talking to people from their own schools.
Hmm.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.